Time to pull up a chair. We've got another great story for you today in the rLounge. Fellow landlords and ladies of the landlord drama kingdom, buckle up for a ride where the rent is low but the emotions are high. Today on rLounge, it all starts with a freezer. Am I the a-hole for not telling my boyfriend I own the building we live in? Hi, obviously a throwaway for privacy. Also, am new to posting, so I hope I do this correctly. When I was 18, my dad gifted me a house with 2 stories. I am extremely thankful we are not upper class, but my dad bought this house for a cheap price a long time ago. It was his grandmother's cousin's house. I know that this was an extreme privilege, and I am forever grateful for this. The layout of this building is like an apartment, but it is a house. So basically, each story has its own separate entry, its own kitchen and bathroom. I live upstairs while I rent out the downstairs. My boyfriend, 25 male, moved in with me about 3 months ago, and we have been together for 6 months. I have not asked him for money, neither for utilities or to pay me any rent. The only thing he contributes is to groceries, that we split 50-50. I have not brought up that I own the building, as it is not something I tell many people. If people ask me, I of course tell them that I own it, but if they just assume I am a renter, then they can believe that. The topic of a landlord, the renter downstairs, or the owner of the building has not been something we have talked about. This last Tuesday, the renter came up to tell me that her freezer has stopped working. I answered the door and my boyfriend heard us talking, I suppose. I went downstairs to take a look and we came to the conclusion that she would buy a new one, send me the receipt, and I would give her the money. She was very grateful for the solution. When I went upstairs, my boyfriend asked if it could be fixed. I told him no, but she was going to buy a new one and I would pay for it. He looked at me like I was crazy and asked me why the hell I would pay for her freezer. I told him that because I am her landlord and the freezer was there when she started renting, I would stand for the cost. He just asked me if I was serious, to which I said I was. He began screaming at me, asking him why the hell I would hold this information from him and that I was an evil person. I said I was sorry for not telling him, but I did not think it would matter. He said he could not believe he was together with someone who was a landlord, that all of us just use people for money, and that the only thing we people care about is money, and would rather have people be homeless than offering affordable rent. The downstairs is 1 kitchen, 1 bath, and 4 other rooms. I charge $500 in rent. I understand many people have had trouble with landlords, but I try my best to be a good one. He demanded that I give him 50% of the money I make for rent, or else I was just as bad as he thought. Was I really the a-hole for not telling him? He has not talked to me since Tuesday, and I have tried telling him that I am truly sorry, but he doesn't answer me at all. Edit. Obligatory edit to add that I certainly did not expect this to blow up the way it did. I have tried to read as much as I can. Thank you all for your advice and support. I have talked with him, and I will update later tonight when I have had time to process everything that went down and try to write it out as best as I can. For the people who were worried about my safety, I called my dad, who sat outside in his car when I talked with my boyfriend, and I am safe as of right now and hope it will continue that way. Thanks yet again to everyone. Edit 2. Update posted. Sorry for the rushed update and weird writing. It is explained in my update as to why. Thanks yet again. Let's get to some reactions from the community. Let me get this straight. He must not have offered to pay half the rent, because then it would have come up and you would have told him, right? He is living with you rent-free. Up to now, he thought you were paying the entire rent. On what planet does he deserve half of the tenant's rent money? Please reconsider this relationship. Not the a-hole. The OP replies, no, he did not offer to pay for any of the rent. If he offered, I would have explained to him that I owned the building. In hindsight, I should have told him that it was my building that he would be living in with me, even if he did ask or not. I think that his outburst really showed how he was. I thought about breaking up with him, but also thought I was maybe overthinking it. If it comes to that, at least I learned something for future relationships. Another reaction. Yep, this is a huge red flag. He was more than happy to leech off of you not paying rent, not even offering, but the moment he found you owned the place, suddenly he demands half the money. And he has the cheek to criticize you? And landlords living off of other people paying rent is evil, but his solution is for him to get half of the money. So it's evil unless he gets his cut? It's very clear what kind of person he is. Another person says, not the a-hole. Dump him. I know that's a common response on this subreddit, but this dude was way happy to exploit you for free lodging. And now that he finds out you've got income he wasn't aware of, he wants half of it just cuz. Or else you're a big meanie? You do not owe him an apology. You owe him a kick in the rear. The OP replies, he sees it as both a way of me proving that I'm not renting as a way to grab money from people, so that it is money is not what I care about. I should have no trouble giving him half, but also as a way to prove to him that I am sorry for not telling him earlier that I own the building. Someone else responds, "He began screaming at me and that I was an evil person. He demanded that I give him 50% of the money I make from rent or else I was just as bad as he thought." Either this isn't real or your boyfriend is a crazy a-hole. Why would you want to date and live with someone like that? Not the a-hole, but get rid of this guy if he actually exists. The OP replies, "Dumb as it is very much real. Before this, he did not act crazy. Not like this, at least. We have not known each other for that long, and he only moved in because his situation with his last landlord was extremely bad. He was about to renew his lease, but the landlord was going to raise his rent very much, so I offered to let him live with me. So I guess some of that extreme reaction is because he has had bad experiences with landlords." Whoa, you're not the a-hole here at all. Your boyfriend sounds cracked for thinking he should get half of what you receive when he hasn't even been paying for half of the rent in your place. His reaction is a giant red flag. You're his girlfriend. He should be supportive of the fact that you're in such a position. Not only that, the fact that you said you would pay for the new fridge says wonders about you. You sound like the best landlord. Your boyfriend should, not be your boyfriend anymore. Update. This is going to be extremely rushed, lack details, and maybe not so clear. I apologize for that, and I tried my best writing out everything as clearly as much as detail as I could. Sorry if it feels a bit anticlimactic reading it due to the style of how I wrote it. I tried. Before getting on with the update, I just want to give some answers to frequently asked questions and some claims I have seen. Also, would like to note that I am not in the US, neither do I live in a country where English is the first language. 1. Why on earth would I charge $500 in rent for a place with 5 rooms? I don't live in the US. Neither is this place in the city. It is a place about 1 hour drive from the nearest city, 15 minutes to the nearest store. We still are about 3,000 people who live here, but what we have is a preschool, 1 playground, and school for kids ages 6 to 9 and a church. The cost for other places with the same amount of rooms in this place is about $600 to $700. It can be a bit more if the place is newly renovated, have a nice view, have a garage, etc., etc. Many factors play in. The building I own doesn't have a garage, is not newly renovated, except new floors and wallpapers in rooms that we changed. Also other stuff that you need to change, like stoves, bathtub, a toilet, etc., but I don't see that as a full-on renovation. So even though the rent is below market rate, I still make enough from it to cover outstanding expenses regarding the house. 2. That this story could be fake. You can bet I would have loved if it was something my mind just came up with, but it is not. I have seen some people claiming it is fake for different reasons, being that if it was real, rent would be higher, but as seen in one, I already explained why. Another reason is that my boyfriend would not hate on landlords, then want to participate in having money from the rent. Do everyone always make sense? No. Did this make sense? Absolutely not. I can't tell you all why he would say that. I am not him. 3. Why would you move in with someone after 3 months? He had problems with his recent living situation, told me about it. I offered to let him stay with me for as long as he needed or wanted. I did this as a nice gesture, as I did not want him to be homeless, and he expressed that he would feel like a failure if he moved back in with his parents. On to the update. I read as much as I possibly could, and after thinking about this, also about previous stuff I just brushed off, I decided I would break up with him. It may seem like an impulsive decision, but after everything I felt that the sooner the better it would be. I texted my dad and explained a bit of it all to him. I asked if he would be willing to drive to my place and sit in the driveway when I was going to talk with my boyfriend, and he, without hesitation, said yes. I thought about what I would tell him and how I would lay it out. I was extremely nervous about how it would go, and not going to lie, I was scared after all the people telling me I should be careful and that he would try to hurt me. When I got home, he was already there. I just greeted him, and he of course said nothing. I texted my dad. My dad got there, and I sat down on the couch beside my boyfriend. He did not know my dad was here. I can't recall the exact details of the conversation, as my mind tends to blank out in stressful situations, but I will try my best to recite it. Me. I think we need to talk with each other if this relationship is going to work. So you're ready to apologize? I will apologize for not telling you that you lived in my building, which I have apologized for many times already. I will not apologize for not giving you part of my income. And why is it that's such a big deal to you? If you don't run out for the purpose of taking people's money, you should have no problem giving any of that money away. I really try to understand how you think. You think I'm in it for the money and think I am a bad person for renting out the downstairs complex, but yet you want money from it. Don't you understand that it seems like you are just in it for the money? I rent out the downstairs for $500. If you really believe all landlords are money grabbers and not good people, would you like me to donate half of it to charity, especially for housing? And here is where the calm, collected and fine conversation ended. My memory from all of this is still all around the place, The gist of it is him telling me I was crazy for even thinking he wanted anything to do with the money for selfish reasons, that I should just trust what he says. He said he regrets ever meeting me, that he would make sure all my friends knew how I really was. He said that we were through. He threw my keys at me. He tried punching a hole in the wall, unsuccessfully. By this time, I had already texted my dad, who came in to see what he was doing. My boyfriend just laughed and told us both he never wants to see us again and that he was out. I know this is extremely rushed, but it all just happened so fast and was incredibly stressful. It was much more said and much more done, but in all honesty, I don't really have the best recollection of everything. I tried to write out all the important stuff, and if in a few days have managed to take care of my emotions and calm myself down, I will try to at least comment and answer questions if any of you all have any for me. The conversation I tried to recite seems very cold and emotionless. In reality, it was much more emotions and other words. I just tried writing it out as best as I could. However, I am safe. He can't come in here because he threw his key at me, so he doesn't have it anymore. He is now my ex-boyfriend, and I will contact him in some time asking about when he would be able to pick up his stuff. I don't know where he is staying, neither do I really care. Now for a couple of reactions. First up, super strange behavior on his part. If I were you, I would still change the locks. What if he made a copy? He wasn't contributing to utilities or the rent he thought you were paying after helping him out of a bad situation and then demanded some of your income. I'd be concerned about him breaking back in. None of this behavior makes sense unless he's nuts or using you. Someone else says, "You sure he didn't copy that key? Get the locks redone. Dude sounds mean. Security camera is probably a good idea. Tip, for the outdoors, one fake camera that's easily seen, one real one that isn't. Let him think he's slick by busting the fake. Maybe a dog while you're at it." Whoa, yes, absolutely change the locks. And really, it isn't anybody's business if you're the landlord or not. And what difference does it make? Sounds like this guy, A, had bad experiences with past landlords, and B, couldn't stand you in being such an opportune position. You're in a great place in life, and it sounds like he's threatened by that. What do you think? Thank you for following along today. Before you go, be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you have something you want to share regarding today's content, we want to hear it. Until next time, in the rLounge.